Have you ever felt like something invisible is keeping you from making real progress with your finances? Like, no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're being pulled back. You look around and see others moving ahead, building wealth, growing their income, and you wonder, what's stopping me? Today, I'm going to share something most people never talk about. It's not about how to invest. It's not about working more hours. It's about something much more personal. So personal, in fact, that it might be sitting right next to you right now. This isn't a theory. It's based on patterns that wealthy people have quietly observed for years. They've noticed that success isn't only about what you do, but also about who you keep around you. The people closest to you can either lift you up or quietly drag you down. In this video, I'll go over the 5 types of people that successful individuals distance themselves from. Why? Because these people have a silent power to block your mindset, your confidence, and your financial progress. Pay close attention, because one of these people could be in your daily life, and you may not even realize the damage they're doing. And the last person on the list is the most harmful of all. This one can do more damage than the others combined. You'll want to hear about that before it's too late. Let's get started. 1. The constant complainer. You know this person. They always have something to complain about. The coffee's too cold. The boss is unfair. The system is rigged. The weather? Never quite right. Life, for them, is just one long list of frustrations. At first, it might seem harmless. Maybe you just nod and let them vent. But over time, their constant complaining starts to affect you. You begin to feel more drained, more doubtful, and less hopeful. You might even catch yourself complaining too, without realizing it. Here's why this matters. Success doesn't grow in a negative environment. It grows in a space filled with belief. Belief that you can improve. That your actions matter. That change is possible. Millionaires understand this deeply. That's why they're careful about who they let into their mental space. They avoid people who drain energy through constant negativity. They know that complaining doesn't solve problems, it magnifies them. If someone is always focusing on what's wrong, they'll never have the energy or clarity to build what's right. And if you're close to that kind of mindset every day, it can pull you off course. So take a moment to think. Who in your life is always finding something to complain about? And how much of that energy are you absorbing without realizing it? 2. The dream crusher. This is the person who hears your ideas and immediately tries to shut them down. You might share something exciting, a business you want to start, a course you want to take, a goal you've been thinking about. And their response? Something like, that's risky, or, that's not realistic, or, people like us don't do stuff like that. On the surface, they might sound concerned. But underneath, there's something deeper happening. Often, they're not doubting you. They're reflecting their own fears and failures. You see, they've stopped believing in possibilities for themselves. And when someone no longer dreams, they have a hard time supporting others who still do. It makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they gave up on. Wealthy people know this all too well. They understand that building a dream requires energy, courage, and protection. They don't expose their vision to people who will tear it apart. Instead, they share it with those who support, challenge, and uplift them. If you want to make real progress, you need to become aware of who's feeding your confidence, and who's quietly starving it. And remember, no one has the right to tell you what's possible for your life. Especially someone who gave up on their own future. 3. The excuse maker. This is the person who always finds a reason why something didn't work out. They blame the market. They blame other people. They blame bad timing, bad luck, or bad circumstances. But they never take a real look at their own choices. At first, it might even sound logical. After all, life does throw challenges at us. But the issue isn't the challenge, it's the pattern. Excuse makers don't just explain failures. They live in them. They stay stuck in the same loop, never moving forward, always pointing outward instead of inward. And if you spend enough time with them, you may start doing the same. Millionaires avoid this mindset at all costs. They know that progress begins with ownership. They accept responsibility even when things don't go their way. That doesn't mean they blame themselves for everything. It means they focus on what they can control. When you're surrounded by people who make excuses, it slowly shifts your own thinking. You stop asking, "How can I solve this?" and start saying, "It's not my fault." And just like that, growth stops. So ask yourself, are you influenced by people who take action, or people who make excuses? 4. The guilt tripper. This person may not raise their voice. They may not argue. But they know exactly how to make you feel guilty for wanting more out of life. You decide to invest in your future, and they say, "That money could have gone to something more important." You start focusing on personal growth, and they say, "You've changed." You take a step toward financial independence, and they whisper, "Don't forget where you came from." It's subtle, but powerful. The guilt tripper wants you to stay the same, not because they don't love you, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It highlights the changes they haven't made. It reminds them of their own inaction. But here's what successful people understand. Wanting to grow, to earn more, to build a better future for your family, that's not selfish. That's strength. That's leadership. Millionaires set boundaries. They don't let guilt control their decisions. They know they can love their people and still grow beyond their current environment. And often, their growth becomes an example that lifts others up, not something that pushes them away. So if someone is making you feel bad for improving your life, it might be time to redefine that relationship. 5. The most dangerous person of all. Now, this may be tough to hear, but the person who could be blocking your success more than anyone else is you. We all have thoughts that hold us back. We all question ourselves sometimes. We all carry old beliefs from our past, maybe things we heard as kids or mistakes we made years ago. You might tell yourself, "I'm not the kind of person who can be successful." Or, "I've already failed too many times." Or, "This just isn't for me." These thoughts feel true. But they're not facts. They're just stories we've repeated for so long that they've started to sound like truth. Successful people have these thoughts, too. But they learn to challenge them. They get coaching. They read. They surround themselves with people who encourage progress. And most of all, they act, even when they feel scared or uncertain. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to be willing. Willing to change the story you tell yourself. Willing to believe that better is possible. Willing to take the next small step. Because once you shift your thinking, your world begins to shift too. The truth is, wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with your mind. It grows through your daily choices. And one of the most important choices you can make is deciding who gets to be close to you. You don't have to cut people off completely. But you can choose who you spend the most time with, whose voices you listen to, and what kind of energy you allow into your space. Take a look at your circle. Think about who supports your growth, and who quietly holds you back. That awareness alone can change everything. Thanks for watching Profitability Plus. If this message connected with you, make sure to subscribe for more honest insights about money, mindset, and moving forward. See you in the next video.